Boa noite, boa noite. A gente vai só esperar uns minutinhos para as pessoas irem entrando na sala e aí a gente já começa, tá bom? Bom, acho que a gente já pode começar. Nath, let's start, otherwise it will be very late. Yeah?
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, so we will,
Danny.
yeah, people will come in. We are online on Facebook as well. We have a few students watching us from Facebook. And well, first, I just wanted to welcome everyone. And thank you, Nat, for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here from UQ, one of the best universities in the world. And the University of Queensland, one of the top universities around the world, and one of the, how can I say, one of the, I would say that if not the best one of the best in Australia for students to start their education, their education pathway, for their career, for their life. And para todo mundo que está aqui hoje, boa noite. A gente está fazendo, hoje é o primeiro dia dos nossos eventos em parceria com a University of Queensland, da Austrália, e a gente está aqui com a Natalia, que é a representante da universidade. Estamos muito felizes de poder apresentar para vocês algumas das opções que uma universidade de primeira linha, de uma universidade de primeiro mundo, tem para oferecer para vocês, para alunos que querem aí começar a sua carreira, começar os seus estudos, fazer a sua graduação numa das melhores universidades do mundo, né? Então, agradecendo a Natália, meu nome é Daniela, eu sou a gerente geral da Australian Center no Brasil e queria aproveitar e apresentar para vocês, para aqueles que ainda não conhecem a AC, a Australian Center, nós somos uma agência de intercâmbio e estamos aqui para dar todo o suporte para vocês. A gente já está no mercado aí há quase 20 anos e milhares de estudantes já viajaram conosco para viver aí esse sonho, essa experiência profissional, de carreira e acadêmica, né, que é estudar na Austrália e depois voltar para o Brasil para continuar esse projeto de vida de sucesso. Nós temos aqui no Brasil hoje 7 lojas, temos lojas também na Austrália e temos uma loja em Brisbane, que vai dar aí todo o suporte para aqueles alunos que estarão estudando na University of Queensland. Então, hoje a gente dá todo o suporte na busca dos melhores cursos, visto, tradução, acomodação, passagem aérea, seguro-saúde, traslado, moeda internacional, oferecendo aí muitos encontros, várias palestras, workshops. Hoje em dia, cada vez mais a gente tem feito isso com a modalidade online, as coisas têm ficado muito mais fáceis para que a gente possa viabilizar esse tipo de bate-papo. Oferecemos assistência em todos os momentos. A gente tem um departamento que vai ajudar vocês a montar um plano de estudos bem bacana e personalizado, de acordo com o que vocês querem ser, o que vocês querem fazer, o que vocês querem experimentar na vida de vocês lá na frente, né? A gente tem uma experiência muito grande nisso. E muito importante, a gente faz tudo isso para vocês através da universidade. Então, contem conosco, que a gente está aí para realizar o sonho de vocês, vamos ser parceiros de vocês lado a lado, tá? Mas, além disso, eu imagino que vocês já conheçam a Austrália, que vocês já queiram a Austrália. A Natália vai falar um pouquinho da Austrália, mas imagino que mais de Brisbane, mas eu só quero dar uma pincelada rápida sobre a Austrália. Esse é o cartão postal da Austrália, né? Quem não conhece, a Austrália é o 6º maior país do mundo hoje em extensão territorial. O dólar australiano é uma moeda forte, é um país que vem aí vivendo um crescimento econômico dos últimos 25 anos. Todos os estudantes internacionais que vão para a Austrália têm a permissão de trabalho em paralelo aos estudos, a qualidade de vida, natureza, os australianos são receptivos, excelente nível acadêmico com universidades de primeira linha, a gente nem precisa comentar, a gente vai falar aqui de uma delas, todas com reconhecimento internacional. E uma coisa que é muito bacana e que eu queria dizer aqui para vocês, aqueles que se formarem, fizerem a sua graduação na UQ, assim que terminarem a graduação, podem aplicar para um visto de permissão de trabalho, que a gente chama de Posted Work Visa, para que vocês fiquem no país por até 2 anos pós-estudos, apenas trabalhando. Então, a Austrália dá essa abertura para que vocês possam praticar aquilo que vocês estudaram dentro de uma empresa australiana, dentro do país, e aí vocês podem voltar para o Brasil ou não, aí vai depender da vida de cada um, né? Com um currículo muito mais forte, com o currículo muito mais rechonchudo, né? Para chegar aqui na busca de um emprego bem bacana, né? Mas a Austrália não é só isso, a Austrália também ela é berço de inúmeras conhecimento, inovações que impactam cerca de 1 bilhão de pessoas no mundo. A Austrália é um dos países mais jovens que existem hoje e é responsável por tantas coisas, tantas inovações, Wi-Fi, Google Maps, fertilização in vitro, ultrassom, a caixa preta dos aviões, vacina contra o câncer cervical, ouvido biônico, tudo isso são inovações australianas, né? Fora tantos prêmios Nobel que a Austrália já ganhou. Então, é muito bacana vocês verem isso e perceberem o investimento que o governo do país faz em educação, né? E se tiverem a oportunidade de estudar num país como a Austrália, tenham certeza que vocês vão ter uma educação de ponta que vai trazer aí um benefício para a vida toda de vocês. Agora eu quero passar aí o meu bastão para a Natália. Tenho que passar o meu bastão em inglês. Nath, hi, now it's time for me to close my window and
Right.
it over to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dani. And hello, everyone in Brazil, a country that I really like, and I miss traveling to Brazil. Hopefully, when all this finishes, I will be able to get back and probably meet you guys, or I'll meet you in Australia. So thank you very much for joining today. As Dani was saying, Dani, can you see my screen before I continue? Yeah, oh good, excellent. So as Dani was saying, my name is Natalia Piedrahita. I am Latin American myself, originally from Colombia, and I'm the Regional Marketing and Recruitment Manager for the Americas at the University of Queensland in Brisbane, Australia. So as many of you, I went to Australia 15 years ago to do my master's degree back then, ended up staying, got married, got Australian citizenship, and felt in love with a beautiful country that has a lot to offer. So hopefully you guys also follow that path, and we will love to see you in Australia soon. So for my presentation, we are going to focus on some of those key areas. We're going to talk about the programs we offer, we're going to talk about the destination, and we're going to talk about entry requirements and some of the advantages of studying at the University of Queensland. If you have any questions throughout the chat, throughout the session, you can just put them in the chat box. and we will try to go through them as we go along. So thank you again and welcome. So as I said before, we are in Brisbane, Australia, the capital city of the state of Queensland. And we are the largest state university in Queensland, and the only university in Queensland belonging to the group of 8. So for the ones who don't know that, the group of 8 is a group of 8 universities in Australia that are research intensive and they are ranked amongst the highest in the world. So this is something that we are absolutely proud of. As you can see on the slide, we have a beautiful campus. I have a few more photos to share with you, but I think it's hard to sort of understand the beauty of the campus by just seeing a couple of photos, but we'll have some for you so you can have a better idea on how it is like. So again, we are in Brisbane, capital city of Queensland. So if you see in the map on the screen, which is highlighted in purple, this is where we are. So Brisbane is the 3rd largest city in Australia. It's a beautiful destination, very friendly for young students and professionals, very safe, very green, as you can see on the photo. This is very close to the city center of Brisbane. So it's a wonderful city with wonderful weather, very much cultural. People from all over the world come to Brisbane. There's a lot of international students as well living in Brisbane. There's quite a few universities and colleges in town. So it's a very friendly and young university with a lot to offer. So we are there in Brisbane, and we're actually very close to the city center. I'll show you more information about where we are in a moment. In terms of our international reputation, the University of Queensland is ranked amongst the top 100 or the top 50 in the world in different international rankings. So we are right now a top 50 university according to the QS World University Rankings, and we rank very highly as well amongst other international university rankings, which is absolutely wonderful. And this is something that, if I understood the Portuguese correctly, Danny was saying before about the quality of the education in Australia. So you guys can be assured that you will be coming to excellent institutions. And the University of Queensland, as I said before, is one of the top 50 universities in the world. So I'm sure you will have a great experience at the university. When we talk about subjects, there's also international rankings. Our university is a comprehensive university. So we teach programs in all areas, more than 400 programs in all academic areas. And I wanted to highlight on the screen a few that are ranked amongst the top 50, just to give you an idea. However, as I said before, we teach programs in all in all academic areas, which provides you with a broad range of programs to choose from. And we're going to talk about the entry requirements and those programs in more detail in a moment. We were discussing the research that is done in Australia, and I think Dani as well in her presentation was highlighting some of those inventions and some of those discoveries. So, well, the University of Queensland has a lot to do with this. We are a research-intensive university, and one of my favorite discoveries, we have lots of them, and we can do a presentation only on the discoveries, but one of my favorite ones is precisely the vaccine for cervical cancer that Danny was talking about earlier. So that was made at the laboratories at the University of Queensland. We had a very strong medicine and faculty, as well as very strong research group in regards to biomedicine and biotechnology, etc. So the combination of all those disciplines have made possible for us to make such discoveries, which has been a great contribution to humankind. And talking about that, guys, with the current situation, our university is proudly leading the research for COVID-19 in Australia, and we're currently working on the vaccine. So our vaccine, the candidate vaccination, is one of the most important ones at the moment within the research community in the world. So we have made some fantastic advancements there, and hopefully by next year, our team of researchers who you see on the screen will be delivering some very great news for the world. So we are in that, we are basically contributing to this discovery, which will be critical for humankind moving forward. So this type of discovery, so this type of research is done at the university. And the interesting thing about this for undergrad students, I think, is that you guys will have access to this type of academics in the classroom that will be able to, provide you with advice and will be teaching you. So it's just wonderful to have that opportunity to study at a university that has this level of research, and that you will be able to just mingle and interact and learn from the best academics in the world. And this takes me to my next slide about transforming learning and the way that the students learn. So the University of Queensland has won more academic teaching awards than any other Australian university, and this is something that we are extremely proud of. And we also utilize, technology and innovation and different techniques to help our students in the classroom. So we strive for teaching excellence, and we try to, and we do everything possible to maximize your learning experience on campus, not only in terms of the great facilities we have, but also in terms of the academics that are teaching you, the experience they have, and the wonderful things that you can learn from this excellent academics that we have at the university. In terms of the student experience, and this is something that really surprised me every time, every year, we have been ranked as the #1 university for undergrad students amongst a group of 8 universities in Australia. And this is something that we feel extremely proud of, because we work a lot on the student services and the student experience. So what that means is not only about getting you to apply and getting you to get to Australia and come to us, it's about your experience on campus. It's about what you're learning. It's about your individual process, and we take care of every single student, and we make sure everyone is supported. There's also a lot of extracurricular activities that you can take as part of your academic program, like summer research, doing a research in the summer, like going abroad to have a semester abroad, like doing an internship, having a practical component over the summer, volunteering, joining a sporting club perhaps, or there's a lot of things going on campus, and we make sure students experience all that and take advantage of the time at UQ. So it's not only about the academic side of things, which is obviously very important, but it's also about the whole experience. And we want you to make friends, we want you to learn, we want you to to have a network. We want you to be the best person you can be. And so this is something that we particularly pay a lot of attention, and we make sure students are supported throughout their time at the university. There are a lot of partnerships the university has with industry. So most of our programs will have an practical component built into it. So it could be an internship, it could be a practicum at a company once a week or something like that, or it could be a project that you do in conjunction with a company. So there's also always a practical component built into the program that helps you with understanding how the world works in real life, right? How it is like to be out there in the industry. So we make sure you guys have that exposure, and for that we have plenty of opportunities and partnerships, not only in Brisbane, but throughout the country. We have a diverse student community. We are a large university, so over 53,000 students at UQ, and about 18,000 are international students from about 135 different countries. So our top 10 nationalities, from memory, China, the US, we have a lot of students from Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia. We also have students from Canada and Europe. So there are a lot of international students on campus, obviously quite a number of Latin American students. We want to have more Brazilians, and our academics love the Latin American students, their enthusiasm. They're usually very high achieving students. They know what they want, and they work hard. So for us, having those Latin American students and those Brazilian students on campus is absolutely wonderful. So you will be part of that international community. Students from all over the world, obviously students from Australia, but also from 135 different countries. What that means for you is the opportunity to have friends from all over the world, to understand different point of views, and to create your own based on real experiences from different parts of the world. So it's very fascinating community, and it's just really wonderful to have that opportunity to share and interact with people from different parts of the world. And it's similar with the academics. Our academics are not only Australians, they come from different parts of the world, and that also enhance and makes the experience even more interesting. We have 3 different campuses. Our main campus is St. Lucia, what you see on the screen at the moment. So St. Lucia is a suburb very close to the city center of Brisbane. It's about 7 kilometers away, so about just 20 minutes by bus. It's our largest campus, and is where most programs are taught. It's a beautiful campus. It's a concept of a university campus with residential colleges, with learning spaces 24 hours. We have different clubs. We have the gym. We have, as I said, residential colleges. You can live on campus. There's banks, there's postal office, so many things, cafes, restaurants, sporting facilities, wonderful teaching facilities, labs, libraries. So it's just a fantastic place to study. We have these beautiful lakes as well, and it's very green, and it's close to the Brisbane River. So to give you a better idea on what it is like, it's huge to start with, and it is what you see on the top of the screen, on the bottom, sorry, of the screen. So it's like a little island, and we always say it's a city within a city. So you have everything you need on campus. So you can easily live on campus. As I just mentioned, we have 10 colleges, and those colleges provide guaranteed accommodation for our first year undergrad students. We have female only, male only, or co-ed, which is a combination of male and female. So you will be able to live on campus and live that wonderful experience of being part of another community within the campus. So we provide all the services you guys need. It's very easy to get to. So what you see, the river is the Brisbane River, which sneaks around the city, and is one of the main attractions of Brisbane. A lot of things happen around the Brisbane River. As you see, it's very green. So you can see a lot of parks and barbecue areas to do barbecue. Students can, exercise in the morning. They can ride their bikes. So it's a very beautiful and peaceful place to be. Now we're very close to the city center, only 7 kilometers. So you can get by train, by bus. It'll take you about 20-25 minutes by bus. You can get by ferry. So over, on the Brisbane River, there's a ferry, which is public transportation. And the final stop is precisely the University of Queensland. So it's actually a very, very relaxed way to get to campus every morning, just to take the ferry and be on the river in a beautiful Queensland day and get to campus. And also students usually buy a second-hand bike. That's also very common. So you can get by bike. As I said before, the city is designed to, ride your bikes. So it's a very common way to get to campus every morning. And even the professors and some university staff will get by bicycle every morning. So you can leave your bicycle on campus, etc. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it's very easy to get to, either by train, bus, ferry, or bicycle. Now, the second campus is a bit smaller. It's called Hurston Campus. It's closer to the city center, and this is where we have our medicine faculty and our oral health center. So students who are thinking perhaps of studying medicine or studying dentistry, they will be in between St. Lucia, the main campus, and Hurston. It is only 15 minutes away from St. Lucia, so it's not far at all, very easy to get to. Now with medicine, very similar to how it is in North America, you guys will have to do a first degree, usually health sciences or biomedical sciences, before getting into medicine. But I'll talk about that in more detail later. I know you guys may have different programs that you're interested in, so I don't want to focus just on one. But yes, the students related to medicine and dentistry, they have basically their own campus. Now our third campus is called Gatton. So Gatton is a small town, and it's only about an hour ago from St. Lucia, an hour away, sorry, from St. Lucia. So there is a bus that interconnects St. Lucia with Gatton. So being a UQ student, you just need to show your UQ ID card, and you can get on this bus by free and commute between the two campuses by free. This campus is our rural campus. So for students who are interested in vet sciences, for instance, agricultural sciences, agribusiness, animal sciences, equine sciences, this will be your campus. It is actually bigger than St. Lucia, believe it or not, it's bigger, but it has less students because it only focuses on those areas. that I just mentioned. So we have a vet clinic, we have cows, as you can see on the screen, we produce milk, we have a farm, we have horses. So given the nature of the programs that we deliver here, we couldn't be in the city. We necessarily had to be outside. We needed to be in a rural area to be able to build these wonderful facilities and have all those animals that vet students and animal sciences students could work with if you decide to go for those programs. So it's a fantastic place with you know, a state-of-the-art facilities and laboratories. And we also have clubs and societies here. We also have a student residential college, meaning that you can live on campus as well. We have sporting facilities. So don't feel that you will be isolated. There's also a nice community here and you can live on campus, and it's close to Brisbane. It's only an hour away from Brisbane, so it's not that far. Now, as I mentioned before, getting to UQ and within campuses is very easy. As an international student studying higher education in the state of Queensland, you will receive a 50% discount in public transportation. So there is a transportation card, which is called the Go card, that you will use to get into the different transportation systems in the city and in the state of Queensland. Well, you will receive a 50% off if you are a higher education student, which is wonderful news for the student. You know, when you go, you are an international student abroad, every single cent that you can save is welcomed. So this is wonderful news, and you will be able to use the different systems in the state of Queensland with 50% discount. Now, with the study options, as I said initially when I started my presentation, we are a comprehensive university. So I tried to summarize on this screen, on this slide, the main areas that sort of involve quite a few programs. So we're talking about over 400 programs altogether, right? So within arts, for instance, you will find about 40 different majors, right? Like creative writing, film and television, you know, journalism, PR, museum studies, anthropology. So there's quite a few things that you can find within these areas that I have put on the screen. For instance, if you talk about business, you're talking about business management, marketing, advertisement, information systems, innovation, entrepreneurship. Again, if you're talking about engineering, you're talking about chemical, civil, electrical, you know, electronic. So there's different areas within these areas that you will be able to study with us. I just couldn't list the 400 programs because it will be very boring. So I thought perhaps I just summarize the main areas, but the most important message for you tonight is you will be able to study over 400 programs in all discipline areas at the University of Queensland. Now, you will be able to do single majors, dual majors, and you will also be able to do a double degree, which is also another option to explore. Usually, the undergrad programs in Australia are 3 years long, with some programs having the option of doing an honors degree, which will make it a 4-year degree. And there's just certain programs like dentistry, for instance, like veterinary sciences that are 5 years long. So it really depends on the program that you're applying for. And I'm really happy, and I'll be very happy to help you with that. But also our friends at Australia Centre, they know our programs really well. They know the processes, they know the requirements, They are in Brazil. So they will be able to help you out with selecting the program and understanding what the requirements will be for those programs. Now, if you want to start your search, perhaps tonight after we finish the presentation, you're curious to know what is available at UQ, you can go to the website that is on the screen right now. So this is our Future Students website. This is where you will find all the information about the programs, the entry requirements, the application procedure, but most importantly, the content. There's a lot of information about the content of the program. What do I do with this degree when I graduate? Which sort of industry I will be able to work in? That kind of thing. Is there a practical component? Is there a research component? Is there a field trip? So there's a lot of information on this website about those programs that we offer at the university. So I will invite you today to explore this site. It's very user-friendly and it's got a lot of information. Now, talking about field trips, most of our programs will also include field trips, and I have plenty of examples, but this is probably one of my favorites that is in the Great Barrier Reef in Heron Island, where we have a research station. So you know, Australia is well known for the Great Barrier Reef, and we're very close in Queensland. And the university has a research station in Heron Island. This is absolutely beautiful. And for students who are perhaps thinking of studying marine sciences, conservation, biology, you will be able to enroll courses that involve field trips to the Great Barrier Reef. So this is, again, just to give you an example, because there will be options for field trips and site visits to industry, etc., in all the programs that we offer at the University of Queensland. Now, talking about admissions, the entry requirements for universities in Australia are pretty much straightforward, very easy. So we basically require the academic requirements, any prerequisites depending on the program. For example, if you're applying to a Bachelor of Engineering, you may need to have done maths during the final year of high school. Or if you are doing marine biology, you may need biology in that last year of high school. So there's certain, this is what we call prerequisites. So there's certain prerequisites depending on the area that you're going to study. Now, we also look at the English language proficiency. So if you're coming from an international school in Brazil, perhaps if you're doing the IB diploma, or if you're doing SATs or APs with the US high school diploma, you may already have that English language proficiency requirement met. But if you're coming from just the Brazilian education system, you may need to sit an international English test. And you may need to do what we call a foundation year program. But I'm going to go through that in more detail in a moment. But what I'm trying to say is, for the Australian universities and for the University of Queensland in particular, you won't need any reference letters. You won't need to do interviews unless you are applying for programs like psychology or medicine. Other than that, we don't require any international tests rather than that the English language test if you need it. But we don't require any extra requirements, any reference letters or any interviews. So that's a bit different to other education systems, perhaps in the US or in Europe. Our application process is pretty much straightforward. Now, you need to be aware of the closing dates. So at the University of Queensland, we have 2 semesters. Semester 1 starts in February, finishes in June. Then you have that mid-year break, the winter break. And then we have semester 2, starting at the end of July, beginning of August, and finishing in November. And then you will have about 3 months of summer break over the Christmas period. So those 2 semesters, semester 1, semester 2. So in order to apply for semester 1, you need to submit your application before November of the year before. And if you are applying for semester 2, you will have to submit your application before May of the same year. However, if you need to do a foundation year program, then we have to discuss that in more detail and see exactly what will be those deadlines for you to apply. Something very important, because I know this is a lot of information and you might be thinking, oh my God, what's my situation? So just call the guys at Australia Centre. They will have a session, an individual session with you guys, and they will be able to go through what you want. What's your specific situation? Which school are you graduating from in Brazil? And based on that, they will be able to make a plan for you. Something very important that I wanted to let you know, we have an application fee of $100 Australian dollars, but if you apply through Australia Centre, we won't charge you that fee. So that's another great advantage to applying through Australia Centre, and they will be able to help you not only with your application process, but also your visa, etc. As Danny was saying at the beginning, and their services are free for our students. So make sure you have contact with Australia Centre to discuss your situation. There are some programs at the university that have what we call, quota programs. What that means is there are limited places for those particular programs. So we're talking about mostly health related. So dental sciences, midwifery, nursing, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, speech pathology, vet sciences, and medicine. So if you are thinking of any of those programs that are on the screen at the moment, those programs will have limited places, which means the deadlines that I just mentioned are different, and which means your academic performance at high school will have to be even higher, because those programs are competitive because of the limited places they have available every year for international students. Again, don't worry too much about it now. We will be happy to discuss those individual cases with you to let you know what the best options are for you. If we have students at the moment who are doing the IB diploma in Brazil, there are many schools in Brazil that offer the IB diploma. The good news for you guys is you wouldn't have to do the foundation year program. You can go straight into UQ. You will have direct entry into the university. And also we will be able to provide credit for up to 8 units, which is equivalent to a full semester if you have done the IB courses that are listed on the screen. So this is some recognition we give to the international baccalaureate, because we know the system very well, and the students usually perform really highly. So there are some advantages there that we will be happy to discuss with you when you contact us for an individual consultation. Now, there are pathways. So if you're thinking, oh my God, I don't have the IB diploma, I'm graduating with the Brazilian high school, and I may need an international English test, or I might not have the English level yet, don't worry, there are ways to get there. So if you're applying with the Brazilian high school diploma, you could do what we call the foundation year program, which is the second listed there. Or if you think you need to improve your English level, we have an institute of English on campus, and you will be able to study English with us before getting into your program. If you feel you need that extra training, and if you need to improve your English level, we will be able to help you with that. So my message today is, it doesn't matter what your situation is right now, we will be able to help you to get there. And either through a pathway program, or if you're eligible for direct entry. So we will be happy to discuss those specific scenarios with you and give you the best option. So Ies College is the institute that provides our foundation year program for students who need this. Not everyone needs it, but for whoever needs this. The institute is not on campus, is in the city center, about 15-20 minutes away from the main campus, and you will be doing your foundation year there before you go into the university. With the English language training programs, those we provide on campus. So our Institute of English is actually on the main campus in St. Lucia, which is wonderful. If you need that extra help with your English, you will be able to also, you know, interact with students while you are doing that on campus, which is great. In terms of careers and employability, and I'm mindful of the time, you guys will be able to explore different options at the University of Queensland. So it's not only about the academic side of things, and that's something that I really want you to take home with you today. The university really works on your employability skills. And so in order to get there, there's different activities and different extracurricular activities we have available for all our international students that you will be able to take. Now, there's some things that we offer, guys, that wouldn't necessarily be embedded into your program. So there are things that you really have to actively go and look for. So you have to raise your hand and say, hey, I want to be part of this. I want to do an extracurricular activity. I want to go abroad for an international semester. I want to do an internship. I want to be involved in volunteering. So there's a lot of things that we won't necessarily you know, put in your academic program. There's extra things, extracurricular activities that you will be able to utilize and you will be able to get access to as part of your university studies. This is why understanding all this is important before you actually go there, so you know what are the things that are available for you. One of my favorites is the summer and winter research program. So for students who are interested in learning a little bit more about research, what would be like to be in a research setting or in a research program? You will be able to join our experts. As I said before, we are a research intensive university. We are a global leader in research. So you guys will be able to learn from the best. So let's say, for instance, you have your summer break and you want to enroll in this program. If you get accepted, you don't have to pay any extra. All these extracurricular activities are mostly free. So you guys will be able to get involved in a research project, and there are even some bursaries or scholarships that we provide to our students if they join these programs during the summer. So there are students who have received scholarships for up to $300 a week just to help with research during the summer or the winter holidays or the winter vacation or summer vacation. So it's a great way to add some more to your CV and your international experience and learn from wonderful researchers at the university. So this is available for you if you want to learn a little bit more about research. There's also short-term global experiences that you can take over the summer. So you can go for, you know, a few weeks to one of our partner universities and do some short-term programs. That's also available. And also a semester abroad, or up to 1 year actually. So you guys will be able to go to Europe, Asia, the US, Canada. You can even come back to Latin America if you want. But there's plenty of options with a number of partner institutions, about 180 partner institutions that you will be able to do an exchange with, which is wonderful for 1 semester or up to 2 semesters during your studies. There's also volunteering opportunities, as I mentioned before, and this is one of the things that people don't realize in Latin America because we're not very used to it here in our system. But volunteering adds a lot to your CV in other countries, including Australia. So if you are, during your studies, if you engage in a volunteering experience, that will help you a lot in your job searching when you graduate. Is very well seen by the employers in countries like Australia, in North America, in Europe. So this is why we provide this opportunity to the students, so you guys are able to have that exceptional experience of volunteering at different organizations in Queensland and in Australia. There's also something, this is also one of my favorites, entrepreneurship and innovation. So we have something that is called ventures. So students at the undergrad and postgrad level will be able to join this program. It's about learning how to be an entrepreneur, basically. So you can take an idea with you. You may have an idea in your mind that you want to explore a little bit further, or you just want to learn how it is like to innovate. How can I be an entrepreneur? So, so this program is available there for you. You don't have to pay any extras. You just have to make the time to take advantage of all these opportunities that you have on campus. So the person who runs this program is from Israel, but he grew up in Buenos Aires, in Argentina. So he understands the Latin American culture quite well, and he is absolutely fantastic. So if you guys want to learn more about entrepreneurship and innovation, this is the place to be. You don't have to be a business student. You can be studying music, you can be doing engineering, you can be doing biology, any program. Any student that would like to join this program will be able to. So it doesn't have to do with business only. So it's any student at any faculty will be able to join this program. And those are some of the examples that I want to show you about the entrepreneurship projects from our undergrad students that have been featured on the news in Australia. So all these kids are undergrad students who have done wonderful startups during the innovation and entrepreneurship program that we have available for our students. So it's really a great opportunity to learn more about that. Scholarships is always a question I get from the students, and we have a few at UQ. So if you want to explore more, just go on the website that I have on the screen at the moment. I have to warn you, there aren't many at the undergrad level. You will find more at the postgrad. However, there are a few. And for those scholarships that are available, the most important thing is those are competitive, meaning that we want the best students we can get. So if you are still at high school, you still have a couple of years to go, try to keep that GPA as high as you can, because that will be the main thing we will be looking at in order to shortlist our students for scholarships. Some of the UQ scholarships are partial and some are 100% tuition, but most of them are partial. So even if you get a scholarship, which is a great help, you still have to pay something if you get a partial scholarship, or you will have to pay for your accommodation or your living expenses. So they're not 100% scholarships. You still have to pay for some of your experience if you get one of those. However, still is a great opportunity and is a great help to be able to obtain one of those financial aids at UQ. And just to finish, accommodation, as I said before, is available on campus, but also off campus. So we have the two options available depending on your preferences and on your budget. You will be able to live on or off campus, and we provide a lot of help and assistance with finding accommodation for you guys. And same with the airport pickup. we will come and get you from the airport for free. So you just have to let us know at least 1 week in advance, your flight details, where are you going to live. If you want to live on campus, we'll take you to campus, but we'll come to the airport and we'll get you, which is good because it's a long flight to Australia. So it's nice that when you get there, there's someone waiting for you, taking you to your accommodation. And my final slide is about life at UQ. I cannot highlight enough how wonderful the student experience for young people is in Australia, in Brisbane, and at the University of Queensland. You will be safe. You will be surrounded by great students from all over the world. You will be surrounded by the best academics you can possibly find. And there are plenty of options for you to grow professionally and in other aspects. We have more than 220 clubs and societies. If you practice sport, if you sing in a choir, if you want to play the guitar, if you, I don't know, if you have any preferences for reading, or, you know, there's different clubs for everything, even spiritual clubs, religious clubs. So more than 220. I'm sure from those you will be able to find something that you like, and it's a great way to make friends. There's also a Latin American Student Society, which I always recommend to join. They have a lot of fun. They celebrate things like the, you know, Carnival, the Rio de Janeiro, and they also do all the Latin American Independence Days and that kind of thing. There are not only Latin American students, but also Australian or international students that want to learn about Latin America. We teach Portuguese on campus, and we have a Latin American Studies major. So there are many students that are learning Portuguese or learning Spanish, and they join this club to learn, to meet people from Latin America. So it's a great way to meet new people and get an extra activity. And this is me. This is my email address. You can contact me at any time. I love talking to students. I love you know, having the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better and trying to help you find the best option for you at UQ. And also our friends at Australia Center, as I said before, they are our partners in Brazil, and they will be able to help you with your process. And with this, I finish my presentation, and I would like to thank again Australia Center and Danny and all the team behind this for making it possible. And I don't know if there is any questions. I'm happy to take any questions now, Danny.
Thank you, Nachi. Thank you, everyone. Great presentation. I was actually already typing some answers here during your presentation. And yes, I actually have some notes here.
Right.
During all this period that we were, how can I say, we were, let me just do something here. During this period that we were promoting the webinar, there was one student that wrote us and with a question, but I want to ask you first before I forget.
Yes.
He wants to do a bachelor, but he has just finished his high school in Brazil, but he has done a high school in his high school is it's a technical course, and his last years of high school, he has done 4 years instead of year 9, 10, and 11 in Brazil, as we usually have primeiro, segundo, e terceiro colegial, as you know, and he has done a 4-year high school. It's an IT.
Right.
He was focusing on IT. So the question is, I understand that this is this might not be accepted as a year 12 in Australia. Does QT accept it or not? UQ.
Yeah, well, not at UQ. I mean, not for direct entry, okay? But okay, we can find ways to get you there through a pathway program. So I don't want the students.
Foundation.
Yeah. Foundation, exactly. So yes, we will be able to take you on, but you will have to do that extra year or maybe less. If his high school transcripts are really good, and if he's got a very good English level, he will be able to shorten that foundation year and might be able to do it just in one semester.
Okay.
So this option also do a shorter foundation if the students have a very good academic profile.
So the only way to get entry into UQ is through the foundation program or IB or SIT, correct? Or 1 year of an university degree in Brazil.
Yes, so 1 year of university of studies in Brazil. Yeah, that's another option.
Okay, okay. I'll just explain a foundation. Vamos lá. Foundation é a Austrália, o curso normal escolar, né, o high school na Austrália, aqui no Brasil, a gente, até pouco tempo atrás, até o terceiro colegial, nós temos completos 11 anos de estudo, agora a gente tem 12. Mas na Austrália, há muitos anos, os estudos sempre foram de até 12 anos. Então, o currículo escolar do Brasil, ele não é equivalente ao currículo escolar da Austrália. Então, por isso que nós, brasileiros, quando vamos fazer um bacharel na Austrália, precisamos completar 1 ano de graduação aqui, para poder entrar direto na graduação no primeiro ano do bacharel da Austrália. Normalmente, quando o aluno sai daqui do terceiro colegial e entra para entrar direto no primeiro ano da graduação na Austrália, ele precisa fazer esse ano de foundation, que é como se fosse uma fundação, como se fosse um ano para que o aluno ele vai estudar, não é um cursinho, tá? É um ano onde o aluno vai estudar um pouco de todas as matérias, melhorar o inglês, melhorar a matemática, melhorar uma base para que ele possa entrar no primeiro ano da graduação na Austrália, tá? Como se fosse um curso pré-universitário, tá bom? É mais ou menos isso.
Yeah. That's exactly the word I was looking for, Dani.
Pre-universitário.
Exactly. That will be the equivalent. And the good thing about it is that you guys will be able to start getting involved into the university life and perhaps also seeing some courses that will be relevant to your undergrad. So don't look at it as I have to do it, but
I like it. I like it because Brazilian students, when we finish high school, we are still very young. And the foundation will help us to get more experience. So we will be able to help us to really help us to choose the course. And because I know that we can change the course that we'll be studying until we really start the program. So during the foundation, if we will be studying business or economics or engineering, we can change between those. So it's something good to do the foundation. I quite like it. Nat, I have another question for you.
Yes.
You were talking about the prerequisites. You were talking about the reference letters, and you were talking about that the programs, the letters were not necessary for the majority of the programs, with some exceptions.
Correct.
What are the exceptions? Someone were asking here.
Yeah, well, reference letters, we don't need across the board. So reference letters, forget about them. But the exceptions are basically for the interview component. So we usually don't interview, but for 2 specific programs we do, psychology and medicine. So if you guys are applying for those 2 programs, yes, we will interview you. Otherwise, we won't, and you don't need reference letters. So the only things that we need to see from you is your academic record from high school, or from university, if you decide to do 1 year university studies, and your English language proficiency. That's all we need from you.
All right. And do you know how many, someone is asking how many full scholarships the university offers per year?
Yeah, well, it's hard for me to say because it changes every year. So how it works at UQ, some of those scholarships, most of them are administered by the faculties themselves, and they have different budgets and different priorities every year. And so this is why it's important to check every semester what is available, because something that is available this semester might not be available the next, or the opposite. Something may come up. So it's important to just keep those, keep looking at that side, because I don't have an absolute answer for that question. It changes every year.
All right. Does anyone have any other questions? Alguém tem mais alguma pergunta? Quer perguntar mais alguma coisa? Eu sei que a apresentação foi super, super, super. I understand that the university scholarship is different from the destination program scholarship. Jonathan's correct, is different. And you can apply for both. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Danny, you're talking about Destination Australia, right?
No, it's because Jonathan's just here on a statement. He just wrote here. I understand the destination, the university scholarship is different from the destination program scholarship. Destination Australian program scholarship. Yes, it's correct, and he can apply for both.
Yeah, the good thing about UQ is because we have Gatton, Gatton campus. Our Gatton campus is usually approved every year for the Destination Australia scholarships for programs related to agricultural sciences, vet sciences, etc. So you will be able to apply if you go to Gatton campus in the case of the University of Queensland.
Great. Scholarship showed representation. They are available for postgraduates and MBA courses. Yes, Marcelo. There are scholarship for master degrees as well. Yes. And tomorrow, amanhã, here, same time, same Nachi and me will be here talking about postgraduate programs. Certo, Nachi? Yes.
Yes.
So I have another question from Eloise. Does UQ offer placements for coursework or practical specializations for veterans graduated in Brazil, or will be required to do the board exam first?
We have a Master's of Veterinary Sciences, and we have a Master's of Animal Sciences that vet students graduated in Brazil will be able to do without doing the board exam. So you will be able to get into those programs just with the undergrad from Brazil. There's more information on the website about those two programs: Masters of Veterinary Sciences and Masters of Animal Sciences.
Heloíse, você precisa fazer o seu master, mesmo que veterinária, você precisa estar estudando o master, a pós-graduação dentro da UQ, dentro da universidade, para que você possa, como uma estudante, fazer toda a parte prática que o mestrado, que o Master by Coursework, por exemplo, tem. E aí você pode, sim, fazer essa parte prática na Austrália. Talvez você, dependendo do programa, não consiga, quando terminar, ser uma veterinária. Aí tem que entender direitinho, dentro do exame final, como que funciona esse processo. Né? A gente pode te explicar, a gente pode te mostrar tudo direitinho. Né? Honors in Psychology, Nath.
Yes, there are some programs that have that honors component. So final year will be your honors component. So what that means is you will be working on a research project that will finish on a paper or a thesis or a dissertation. So it's a research component that final year.
Viu, o honors é um ano a mais que o bacharelado tem para você fazer um ano de pesquisa. Aqui no Brasil você tem o TCC que você faz para poder se formar. Na Austrália você não tem o TCC. Se você quiser, você vai fazer um ano extra depois do bacharelado só para você fazer em pesquisa, tá? Você tem que aplicar para fazer o honors, tá? É isso. Mais alguém tem mais alguma pergunta? Vamos lá, a última pergunta. Last one. Yes, Nath?
Is there any other questions? Did you say last question?
Yes, I said last question.
Okay. So yes, last question. Is there any other question?
I don't think there is other question, but
so
I think your presentation was very, very comprehensive, just like the University of Queensland. Very comprehensive with a lot of programs. And so you bring us a lot of information. Thank you very much for that. I just want to tell everyone that tomorrow, 7:30, we'll be here, Zoom again, or on Facebook, talking about master programs, talking about research opportunities, scholarships, yes, and about UQ, and about Australian Center, and about everything again. So please tell your friends to join us. And thank you very much, Nachi, for your time today. And guys, if you want to contact us, please send us an email, give us a call. Anyone that wants to have a chat with us, please get in touch with us. We will be talking to you one by one. We can also have a conversation again with Natalia if necessary. And that's it. Nat, is there anything else that you want to?
I just want to thank everyone. It's wonderful to have that many students interested in coming to Australia. So thank you for your time, and we hope to see you in Australia soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's it. Obrigada, Nath. Muito obrigada para todo mundo. A gente gravou esse webinar. Em breve, como todos, ele vai estar disponível no YouTube, no canal do Australian Center. Estarei amanhã. Uma boa noite para todo mundo. Um beijo grande. Bye. Tchau.
Bye. Tchau.
Até amanhã. Tchau.